Hello everyone, welcome to rachelpichleryoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flexibility practice. I am going to use my bolster just a little bit today. Find a little bit of space to move as well, and let's get started. So we will begin today laying down. If you do have a pillow of some kind that you would like to lay on, feel free to do so. You can also lay flat on your back. But if you want to get into your hips a little bit while we're here, you might make a diamond shape with your legs. If you want to get into your shoulders a little bit while we're here, you might bring your arms out nice and wide with your palms facing up. You might even bring your arms up above your head with your palms facing up. Lightly resting your hands on the ground. And as you let your eyes close, begin to soften throughout your body, your legs, your arms, your belly. Slowing down your day as maybe you start to notice your breath. And if you do have your arms reaching above your head, start to slide them back to your sides. If you have your knees out wide, you might start to bring them back together. And if you are laying on a pillow, you might take it out and move it to the side so that you can lay flat on your back. If you want to take your knees for a sway or even hug them to your chest, you can add in some movements, or you can be still. We will be sliding our left hand underneath our back though, so if you can turn your palm to face down, your hand might be kind of beside your hip or under your hip. You might have your hand under kind of the middle area of your back. The higher you work up towards the shoulder, the more you will feel your shoulder. So make sure your palm is facing down, your elbow pointing out to the side. You can stay flat on your back, your knees pointing up, or you can let your knees fall to the left side. So this might feel like a twist as well. as your knees fall to the left, but as your right shoulder stays down. Now, if you did let your knees fall over towards the left side, just start to bring them back up. Take your hand slowly out from under you, maybe turning your palm to face up, out to the side. And then our knees are going to come back to the left side, or maybe this is the first time they're falling to the left side, but think more of a twist. Skipping that shoulder portion. Letting your knees fall to the left. If you want a little extra, you could wrap your right leg over top of the bottom leg. So let's slowly bring our legs back up and out of our twist. Bending the knees, planting the feet. Maybe add a little bit of a sway side to side with the knees. When you do feel ready to bring your right hand under your hip or your back, or maybe it's just at your side, but try to let the palm face down. Palm facing down, a nice inward rotation of the shoulder. You can stay flat on your back and your knees pointing up, or they can start to tip over to the right side for more. Keep your left shoulder down, maybe even reaching the arm out wide. And we can slowly lift the knees back up if they are falling to the side. And even slower, take your hand out from under you. And maybe just rest it out wide, out to the side, maybe with your palm facing up. Our knees are going to tip back over to the right side for our twist. If you do want to wrap your left leg, your top leg over the bottom leg for some extra, you can do that as well. Just keeping the left shoulder down. Let's use an inhale to bring the legs up again out of the twist. Plant the feet, or if you want a bigger hug of the knees towards your chest, you could do that too. Maybe a nice rock, side to side. And then we're going to be coming up onto our hands and knees. So if you want to roll over or rock yourself forwards, just start to move and come up into tabletop. Onto your hands and onto your knees, and maybe giving the hips a little bit of a sway side to side. We're just going to use a big inhale to drop our belly down, arching through the back, lifting the chest, maybe the chin as well. Hold it here for a moment. Stay for an inhale, and then as you exhale, gently round the spine. So lift your belly button up, tuck your chin towards your collarbone, push into your hands, hold it here. And then using an inhale to come back to just a nice long spine. We're going to reach our arms out in front and melt our chest down. If you want your pillow to come underneath your forehead or under your chest for your puppy dog stretch, you can grab it. Just using an inhale to slowly lift your chest back up. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Maybe take a little sway side to side. And then if we can bring our knees together, our feet together, resting on the tops of the feet, sitting back on the heels maybe. You can stay seated nice and tall. You might even be leaning forwards a little bit, or you might be leaning back and maybe floating the knees. If you can find some balance on the top of the feet, so your hands might rest in your lap, feeling your ankles, maybe all the way up the shins. If you do have your knees floating though, or you're leaning back, just start to bring your knees back down. Come onto your hands again if you want to give your ankles a little bit of a shake. Then we're going to cross our ankles and sit down with our legs out in front of us. Right leg out long, left foot to the inner thigh to start. An inhale as you lengthen through the spine. Maybe you will fold forwards, maybe pointing your toes up. Now letting an inhale lift you again. We're going to keep our right leg where it is, but we're going to try and turn our chest to the left, and we're going to try to move our left leg a little bit too. So half straddle, we want to start to feel our inner thigh. So as you kind of open up, you scoot your left foot away from your inner thigh. Just kind of pivot a little bit. Maybe you're facing the left side. Maybe your right leg is still where it was. Point your toes up again. And then if you were to lean forwards from here, maybe you feel your inner leg more. Maybe you don't need to tip forwards at all. And maybe you feel like you could scooch a little bit more. Leave the right leg where it is. Just kind of open up the space between the left foot and the inner thigh. And maybe a little tip forwards, maybe a little sway. If you are tipping forwards though, you can start to lift back up. We might just slide our left foot all the way back in towards the inner thigh. You can bend both of your knees though, give them a hug, rock side to side. Then we're going to be sending our left leg out long. Right foot to the inner thigh to start. So left leg straight in front, chest facing the left foot. And inhale to lengthen through the spine, maybe pointing your toes up. And if you want to fold, you can fold. Feeling your hamstring, your calf. Just letting an inhale bring you back up. If you're folding forwards, let's try to keep the left leg where it is as best we can. Turning the chest towards the right, and then maybe scooching that right leg off to the side a little. Keep turning until your left leg wants to move, or until you feel your inner leg, creating space between that right foot and that inner thigh. Reset, sit tall, maybe a little tip forwards, maybe pointing the left toes up. If you feel a little lopsided, you might kind of sway a little the shoulders, try to level things out. If you feel like you could go a touch further, you can go a touch further. Sit tall, tip forward. Whatever feels good. And just using an inhale to find your way back up. You might slide your right foot back into the left leg, and then maybe just bending the knees. Hug it out. Awesome, you guys. We're going to come back over onto our knees. Maybe your knees can come together, your feet together, but let's tuck our toes this time. Toe squats. Find the length through your toes, maybe keeping some weight in the hands, leaning forwards, maybe sitting all the way back on the heels. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. Maybe close your eyes and just take a breath. Feel that love, that heat building in your feet. Maybe flowing all the way through your body, up to the crown of your head. But if you do have your hands lifted, bring them down, come off of your feet, your toes, maybe give them a little bit of a shake, a wiggle. Then you can cross your ankles and sit back down. We're gonna lay on our backs again. You might bring your knees to the chest. You might bring your knees out wide, maybe letting your big toes stay together. You might lift your feet up and find happy baby. If you did bring your feet out wide, you might let your big toes find one another again. Hands to your knees. Help your knees come back together again too. Maybe take a rock side to side. Eventually bringing your feet back down if they're lifted. And you can send your legs out long too, one leg at a time. Resting your arms somewhere comfy. And enjoying a few moments here in shavasana. Staying for as long as you have time for today. But thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.